Go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, my little captains. Come on, guys, we got to do this tournament talk thing. Wake up. You guys been fishing or something? Come on.
I'm driving the same truck he is, a white Rebel.
Oh, you got a white one too?
Well, I
thought it was a gray, wasn't it?
I had a charcoal gray one for about 5 or 6 days, and a buddy of mine saw it and said, I love that truck, I want to buy it. I'm like,
Oh, really?
here we go again. Right back to the dealership, swap it out and got another one.
Yeah. So you like the white one? I like the white one. Did you get the one with the toolbox on the side?
Yes, it's so nice.
Yeah, I don't have the toolbox on the side.
That's a game changer.
Yeah, when I saw that, like, I was like, I love my truck, and then I started seeing these ones with the toolbox on the side, and I was like,
Upgrade.
yeah, I wanted.
I'll be turning mine in about 1,000 miles. So
Really?
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know. I love the truck, man. I feel like I'm driving a Mustang sometimes.
It's nice. It's fast.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's real fast.
But the nicest thing about those toolbox, those things on the side, you go grocery shopping, you pop it open, boom, everything right in the side, nothing ever goes in the truck.
Killing me.
All my tools stuff on the side, it's great.
Yeah, I'm a year and a half out on my lease.
I like the coolers in the floor.
Yeah, everything.
Too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I like the coolers in the floor. That's actually my son's favorite part. Every time we show the truck off to anybody, he's got 6 years old, and he's got to open all the doors and lift up the rubber mat and everything. He's like, it's cooler. It's cooler.
I put all my spare. I put my spare clothes in there.
Yeah. Cool. Well, you guys are back.
We're back.
I didn't think you would ever come back, but here you are. You've returned back to the Connected by Water Tournament Talk Edition, presented by Joey Accardi, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. Got it. So I want to say something about that, though, because we just talked about our Rebel trucks, and we talked about your future Ram truck.
I've got a Ram. I just don't have all this
I know, but
fancy
you're going to
stuff.
get another one.
Oh, without a doubt.
Right? So go see Dean. Dean's the man.
Dean is
right?
the
I've
man.
been sending people to Dean. Dean will hook you up. Drop my name. Tell him I sent you. And he'll give you the best deal possible. So all those guys at Joey Accardi are top-notch. The service level is top-notch. Salesmen, top-notch. Everything.
You know what's nice about it? You feel comfortable with them. You walk in there. Dude, I felt good within 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That's the one. Paperwork done. Out
That's
of here.
the thing.
Yep.
You know, when I went there, it was really, really very, very smooth whole thing. You know, and if anything, if you needed anything, they were there for you. And you want pizza, you want a drink, whatever, they'll get it for you.
No doubt.
So,
First class all the way.
yeah.
I've probably sent 8 or 10 guys there in the past 6 months or so.
Yeah.
Everybody had the same experience.
You know what's missing, though? There's no damn waffle maker.
I bet you they got a waffle maker in there somewhere.
Probably do something.
No doubt.
We'll get to the waffle maker in a little bit, but I wanted to thank you guys for coming back, right? And here we go. Still been rough out. You guys look like you guys been beat up 7 times over.
Miserable. I'm bruised. I got bruised up and down my arms and my hips.
You seen Jim Oliver's pictures?
No.
He was on that boat that stuffed that.
That was them?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And they did beat him up bad. Beat the
What
boat
happened?
up.
I saw that the one picture you shared where your tower is kind of the only thing you can see.
Yeah. I don't even know who took that picture. It just showed up on a text string there yesterday. Steele found it somewhere.
Jason took that picture. Gasquion.
Oh yeah.
No, did he?
Yeah.
Really?
I would have given him credit if I'd have known that.
Well, we're giving him credit now.
There you go.
Jason Gascoigne. Follow him on Facebook. I don't think he's smart enough to be on Instagram.
Just
kidding, Jay. Just kidding,
dirty.
Jay. We make fun of Jay. We make fun of it. It's cool. It's all good. It's all good. So, tell me some stories.
Wind, big oceans. The truth be told, the Derby, the wind blew harder, and in the ocean, it was rougher in the Derby than it was in Bun's
for sure.
tournament. It just, we timed out tide-wise.
It was
Well,
You said the
everybody
inlet.
else-
You remember you made the comment. You said that was probably the roughest you've ever seen the inlet.
That was
the
an
roughest I've ever
operation.
seen Palm Beach. That was Operation Sailfish Day 2,
Yeah.
correct?
Well, you want to hear how dumb I am, though. Day 1 of the Derby, which was the week before Operation Sailfish, we had inbound tides in the morning. I said, all right, well, they let us loose at 6:30. All I want to do, I just want to go to Jupiter. I steam up the ditch. Everybody's comfortable. And it's a big part of my program is keep people happy and keep them as comfortable as long as possible, get the attitude where you want it, and everything's going to go right. Well, I figured I could get out of of Jupiter Inlet just shortly before 7:30. If I checked out at 6:30, take me an hour to get up there, and it was perfect. We get to mouth of Jupiter Inlet, inbound tide. It's barreling across the thing. It was enormous. Oh shit! I've screwed up bad.
Really?
It took us 45 minutes to get from the mouth of Jupiter Inlet to 100 feet of water.
Come on.
Straight into it. It was so jacked up and so
Wow.
nasty. Yep. But
Every wave mattered, it sounded like.
and at no point was it dangerous, but it was just, I'm 5 or 6 knotting. It just nasty, horrible. So that was a really bad decision. And the next day, it was blowing harder for longer. The waves were bigger.
Yeah.
And went out of Lake Worth Inlet, and I was in Jupiter in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Shit.
Right in the trough and let her eat.
Yep. Yeah, what a bad decision. But at least it
You did
it
good
didn't
on
hurt
day
anybody.
one.
We did, yeah. We won the day on day one in the Derby there. And on that one, there was 2 schools of thought there. What the heck was that?
Yeah, that was my phone.
Oops.
Sorry about that.
All good.
It wasn't me this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were 2 schools of thought that I was running on in day one of the Derby there. It was the traditional inshore. There was a little bit of north current. The water was green everywhere, but the inshore, the 100, the ledge, and the 100 to 130 foot stuff there out front of Jupiter Inlet, and it seemed like a lot of the big boats were in there and were able to get some bites. It wasn't red hot for anybody really. The fishing wasn't great, but there was a super faint edge in 200 foot of water, or just outside of it was like 205, that would kind of show come and go. But if you sat in it, you'd get bit. And then there were some little flippers, little bullet bonitas and stuff that would show up in there. And I opted to do that. And we sat in 205 and watched boats get bit inside of there, and just picked. We had 2 doubles, caught one of the doubles, and caught 1 out of 2 on the other double there for 9 out of 10 in a substantially rough ocean. Dude,
Right.
I mean, the guys did a phenomenal job. It never had anything get in the wheels, and that's the key on that rough stuff, because you're getting your ass kicked, and it's so easy to get frustrated. It's so hard to keep the momentum rolling in that rough ocean, and that day they did so well that was never an issue. What was interesting about it too is it seemed like the inshore fish, you could watch it progress. The fish would be southbound, and you'd see guys getting bit on the north kite. Well, offshore out there in that 200 foot, they were going the other way. I'd get bit on my left side, and I could jump them back to the north real quick and pick up another bite or 2. And I don't think anybody else was really recognizing that, because they'd see me get bit and they'd loop around to the south. Mm-hmm. And then next thing you know, I'd pump up, jump to the north real quick and get bit again. And,
Yeah.
And I never noticed anybody else really working that. That worked on day one.
Yeah, well, well, I think that goes a lot back to some of the stuff we said earlier about, not everything notices everything that art notices. So, that's the truth,
That was that moment. that day, that moment. It didn't work out so well. And
yeah. How does he? Well, I was watching you guys on the live scoring, and everything was kind of pulling for you, but hey, what are you you're working hard, and it just wasn't in the cards.
Well, to work through the whole deal there, that was day one was, like I said, it was perfect. And what was interesting about that deeper edge, the mahis and everything else, you see the blackfin tunas, they were doing the feeding into the current thing, everything
Were
else.
you catching a lot of meat?
Oh, dude, I've never seen so many blackfin tunas.
Really?
Up there,
How'd you do? You guys catch a lot of meat on the tournaments?
Caught a bunch of dolphin.
Really?
Yeah.
it was fun. It was fun. It really was fun fishing. Other fact, it's blowing so damned hard. And 50 waves over the bow, just
It
sitting
was
dead
just
still.
ridiculous.
Constantly waves breaking over the bow. You're just sitting there. Not like you're driving into them. It's just. And
Wow. I
guys
saw a lot of
standing-
some Steve-O's videos too coming through too, and he was like kind of going live.
Yeah, he
and I was
destroyed
like,
the
oh
phone.
my God.
And did
That's what he said.
Nice.
He's like, text me if you think that I should have your number and message me.
Yeah.
But yeah, no,
Yeah.
I wasn't jealous.
That,
That's for
see,
sure.
I was on Southern Run for that one. We fished the 41 Bahama the first day, which was a horrible decision. Guys got a 64 bayless, and we fished the Bahama.
Yep.
So going out, we ended up a huge wave came off this huge wave, set the stern down, blew a power head coming down. It was a miserable day. So all right, looks like we're fishing here. Stop, put them up. We caught like a 30-pound dolphin right away.
We're fishing here.
So we had the biggest fish of the tournament going into the the last fish that got weighed.
Oh
Yeah.
no, really?
On day 2. But I think we only caught one on day 1. We sucked ass, but then we got it rolling on day 2, had a little bit of a roll going and not enough to do anything in the tournament, but it was good for morale.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's key, dude.
I think we caught 4 or 5 on day 2. But what won? 12? That tournament? I can't remember.
Bar South ended up winning.
No, the Bar South won operation.
Operation. I'm getting them. I'm getting the two confused here.
Yeah, Jamie won. Jamie won 12.
I think it was more than that. No, because he could have caught. I thought
he caught
17. He caught 17. I caught 14.
Was it?
Yeah. So that was the interesting thing on day 2, and I'm still kicking myself about this. Day 2, I had a parking spot where I was setting up on a really good piece of bottom, and sit there 10 minutes before lines in. I motor over to it, and a couple of boats set in. I mean, too close to the north. And instead of jumping back to the south and getting there a few minutes after lines in, I jumped them to the north and start midway through that little piece of water that I wanted to try to work through, that piece of bottom that I wanted to work through, where that faint little edge was still there, maybe even weaker than it was the day before. But there was a little more current, though, so I was hopeful. And we got bit right away, immediately. Had 2 fish up. Right long gets bit, and it's a 4-line tournament, so you're right long, right short, left long, left short. Fish shows up on the right long, clearly doing the northbound feeding thing, and starts working in. Well, I've got another fish trying. He's kind of shopping me on the right short, and the fish loops all the way around, loops around that thing, and I mean it's the long fish, so it's feeding to the north. So if he comes tight, he's going to mow down through the right long. He's going to mow down through the right short. We're never going to get bit on this one.
Right.
So we just keep dumping it. The fish doesn't care. I'm watching him swim around out there all over the place. He loops all the way around the thing. Eventually, screw it, dude. We're not going to get bit on the second fish. We've lifted the others, casting spinners. He's just not going to eat.
Yeah.
So get tight. There was so much line in the water. The fish starts jumping while we're getting tight, and we fight him for maybe, I don't think we ever actually got all the way tight to the fish, and he comes off. First fish, I mean, minutes into the tournament, and it's rougher than shit. Everybody's soaking ass wet, and then morale, poof.
Yep.
Really?
The balloon just explodes when something like that happens.
You can feel it, but and then I'm seeing these boats, and there's a more consistent, at least what appeared to me, and I think this is me making a mistake again, appeared to be a more consistent southerly, normal, traditional bite scenario going inshore. So I talked to Uncle Ben there, and he'd had like 7 bites already in the time I get these 2 fish up. And I should have stuck. I should have kept doing what was working, but I run on in there, and it took us a while to get bit. There's so much fishing and so much rough, and that it's hard to remember exactly.
Especially in those conditions, though, it's really tough to armchair quarterback the thing.
Yeah.
Look back, shoulda, coulda, wouldas. I mean,
well, you've got to though. You no other way of learning, but
we're learning, but you
learn.
can't kick yourself though in the moment.
Of course you can.
Well, no, man, you made a decision for a reason, right? What if that decision worked out?
Yeah,
you don't know.
Well, it could have worked out. We'd had been nearly perfect again on the second day, and we did go in there and we got some bites, and again the roughness, I think, the second day took its toll, or more guys were moving a little slower. I was certainly not making quick and good decisions quickly enough to recover from some scenarios where snafus were occurring. And to sum it all up, Jamie and I both kind of recognized something going on there a little north of where everybody had been fishing. And I somehow managed to find myself on the point, the north of them, and a giant pack of fish shows up. We hook a triple, get shopped on the 4th bait by several that were there and for whatever reason didn't eat. Snafu, we catch one, pack shows up on him right over there, he catches a quad, and that's where we take the lead with that one. He catches a quad and jumps us for 3 fish. Oh, man. We go to 14, he's at 13, we're both at 13, but he was ahead of us on time. We go to 14 with that one we catch out of that triple.
Yeah.
He catches the quad, and then for 45 minutes we sit around twiddling thumbs.
Goes to 17, and then I don't know if there might have been 1 or 2 more fish caught for the whole tournament.
Yeah, like all of a sudden. Yeah. And I think there was another scenario. There was on several occasions in both tournaments where I said, it's so damned rough. I know I could run back down there and get bit, but man, is that going to be hard on me and everybody else in the boat. And
if it doesn't work out, then,
and how long is it going to take? How much time? And so I just ended up not doing it and then never get bit again.
That was
So
it. And then lines out and you're
Like
done.
what you were talking about, I forgot it. See, all the tournaments run together. I forgot Jamie won at the end of the day on day one. So we lost the motor. Then I lost steering, like the power steering halfway through the day.
Yeah, you got mowed
So
down.
I'm
You
talking.
lost your steering
so I'm
too?
talking to Jamie, right? Jamie, we're both in the same spot. He moved inshore to like 130. Everybody was fishing deep. I saw him get bit, then bit again. So I start motoring inshore. I get to like 130, and we hook. I think it was a quad. I think we hooked. Actually had 4 bites, but we hooked a triple. And these fish are going all different directions, and I got no steering. I can't move on them. So everything's
2 motors.
so everything's stretched all over the place. So we get to within like, it's a tip tournament. So we get within like a foot of the tip. Couldn't quite get it. Fish takes off. That one gets sharked. Then the one way offshore pulls off. And we ended up catching one of them. But I'm just like, oh man,
And that's another thing to keep talking
it's
about.
crushing, man.
The
Sharks so bad.
We've been fortunate. We haven't lost a sailfish to any of them yet this year, but I've been a witness to it. Boats right over there and big pool of Kool-Aid and giant explosion.
Yep,
But I've
jump,
had
jump, jump,
dolphins,
boom.
Dolphin, I mean, all kinds of stuff getting eaten that never used to get eaten.
The sharks are super bad.
Horrific.
You know, I mean,
They're in Boca right now.
we've talked about this before, where it's like all the, save the sharks, and you don't need to save shit.
Not in this country. Now,
Yeah.
there are places in the world that absolutely need
Well,
it.
the
In this
Japan
country,
fishery, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, when they're just chopping off fins and
well,
throwing it back in the
there's a
water,
lot
I
of
mean,
places where if it swims, it dies because
Yeah.
somebody's going to eat it. And
It's
in
got
that
eyes, it
scenario-
dies.
In that scenario, I mean, they're surviving off of it. So I kind of understand if you can get it and you can eat it, get it.
Well, there's surviving and there's exploiting. I mean,
There's plenty of exploiting.
Yeah,
going on.
so sharks. Yeah, the sharks are bad for sure.
So bad.
The
bad.
we
And
didn't.
we're talking about guys that get on their fish. I mean, if we're fighting a fish for more than 5 minutes, something's gone desperately wrong.
Yep.
Can you imagine the traditional guys that are dead boating these things? They don't stand a chance. Every one of them's going to get eaten.
Yeah.
If not on the hook, the second they release that thing, it's tired, it's done. It's dead.
I definitely saw in Operation Sailfish at least 2 or 3 of our fish out of sight, gone.
Gone. Ah, that's terrible.
Yeah.
And I got a bit of good news. I just started doing some gray taxidermy. Is spending a ton of money
With their fish
on
tag research.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There's no upside to that for them. None, zero.
Right.
Other than positive press, but it's a great company anyway. They don't need that. But
Right.
spending a ton of they've employed 2 people that I know of for sure. That's all they do. There's no revenue income from them. That's Grace paying them to do all this research, keep track of all this stuff, and it's so simple. But we've tagged 4 sales now, and just started last week. One of them just got recovered in Isla Morada, perfectly healthy during the Chico
cool.
Lodge tournament. 4 days after we tagged the thing.
4 days.
4 days tagged it in Del Rey.
that's
4 days
cool.
later, it's in Isla Morada.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I love
That's
hearing
cool.
that. Yeah. How long have they been doing that fish tag research for?
As far as I know, a week. I'm sure quite a bit
No,
longer.
Grace fish
No,
tag.
well,
No, it's been a few years.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
but
Years, yeah,
I've
right.
only been doing it for a week. That's all I know.
No, because I wonder. I really wonder because I mean, obviously, there's other tag programs and organizations out there that do that.
Yeah, but they all charge. Gray
Yeah.
doesn't charge a nickel.
That's
Just
what I'm
get 'em in
saying. So
fish.
I wonder, like, their statistics and how they're utilizing that research. Really,
they don't care what
I'd
fish.
like to learn more about that. To be honest with you, is like ultimately what I'm getting at.
Yeah, well, they don't care what species either. If it's swimming still, stick a tag in it. Let's see where it goes.
Yeah.
See if anybody catches it again.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
Jack Crevelle's, Amber, you name it. I've put a tag in everything.
Tag and remorse.
Saw a whale shark yesterday. I wanted to, it stayed a little too deep. I'd have plugged the tag in that thing.
You saw a whale shark?
Yeah, right up front of Boca.
Oh, nice.
20 feet of water. Yeah.
Is it a big one?
No, but yes. I mean, it's 15 feet long, but it wasn't a big one by any
Right,
means. It was
right.
clearly juvenile.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was nice to
Those
see.
things are so cool. Man.
So cool. No cobias.
Yeah.
So we get the FWC people come out with us all the time and tag groupers and muttons and triggerfish and all
That's
that kind of
cool.
stuff.
On the Hydrosport?
No, on Fish City.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yep. How's things been on the Fish City?
Good. We had a great morning today. Big old yellow jack and some kingfish and yellowtails. Fishing's been really good. A couple cobias this week.
Yeah, y'all been wearing stuff out. I love looking at pictures.
Been good.
Am I supposed to kick up Friday? SCs?
No, Saturday's going to blow hard off the west. We're not
Saturday.
going to see a sea for thank God for a while. But
Yeah.
raining, another tournament on Saturday.
It's going to
Yeah.
rain.
Raining and blowing
The
25
Cove
knots off the
tournament
west.
coming up.
Yeah.
Right, we got the Cove tournament coming up. So let's talk about the Cove tournament a little bit
Let it rip.
because that's been going. It's a benefit tournament.
Yep.
It's been very local to our area.
Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah, been going on for a lot of years, and that tournament does a lot of good.
Yep. For
And
sure.
those people do a lot of good things running that show. So, you guys won it last year, right?
We won it last year, yes.
Yeah. Congratulations.
With a whole whopping 3 fish.
Brutal fish.
It was brutal. It would pour rain,
Mm-hmm.
bright and sunny, no wind, pour rain, bright and sunny, no wind.
Yeah.
It was one of those days.
Yeah.
Misery.
Yeah, I think I might end up going to that awards banquet that night.
All I did was avoid rain. I'd run over here and then, I think it's going to rain again. Let's run over there.
We caught two flatline fish, and then right at the end of the day, Bunstein caught one out of the kite. The wind came up just enough, even with helium, just to barely fly.
And that was the winner.
That was the one. We were tied for second. We might have been. I think we actually were in the lead with 2, and that one put us over the top.
Yeah. So we talked about didn't a front move in like right in the middle of the Silver Sailfish Derby? Am I mistaken?
No, it was all east.
It was
honking.
All
Both
right.
of
For some
them.
reason, I was thinking like a front moved in
We went
in the
silver,
middle of the
silver
tournament.
sailfish, and then
Operation.
whip back to back. It was like went
30 plus knots off the east.
east northeast, just miserable weather, and it was
Yeah.
bad.
At least no rain though. In Ben's tournament.
Yeah,
Yeah, the rain.
Ben's was still the worst I've ever fished in. It was just
That
miserable.
still takes okay. You guys are due for a nice, easy.
Whatever happened to a helium tournament?
Yeah,
Like, give me some friggin' helium. I hate
You
helium.
guys are all lined up for a nice, calm tournament
well,
here coming up soon.
the Buccaneer wasn't bad.
Yeah,
The weather wasn't
fish
bad.
that one.
It was all helium for the most part.
Oh, really? I didn't.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. There goes the helium tournament. I didn't get to fish that one.
Yep. And then there was the Gold Cup. Was the other one?
The Gold Cup was the same time as Operation Sailfish,
Okay.
and it was rough.
Yeah, rough then. Yeah.
Yeah, we really haven't even talked about Operation Sailfish. There was some interesting stuff went down there.
Yeah.
One of the issues where these guys are, people always want, let's get some more boats in these tournaments. There was a boat that fished Operation Sailfish that left out of Port Everglades every morning because they couldn't get a slip in Palm Beach, and there's nothing in between for a big boat.
Yep.
It's a disaster, but it kind of worked out for them. And the way Bun does his rules, it's kind of key style. As long as you film that you're within the boundaries that lines in, you're good to go. You still have to turn in your paperwork. So now they run up to Boynton, fish Boynton, and apparently had quite a few bites there.
31. I was told 31 bites they had.
So I asked,
What boat was this?
oh shit,
Really?
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Was who was running that thing? I think Randy Tao may have been on the boat.
Was Randy fishing on that boat?
I don't think so. It's a friend of Louis.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't know who was on there, but and I'd heard all kinds of rumors how many bites they had, but they did whatever they run there, and they were back and forth with the daily on day one, which was really interesting because whatever, not science, but the way it all worked out on day one of Operation Sailfish, I opted to fish the only place there wasn't any current up north, and I hate fishing in slow moving or no moving water, even when it's blowing like hell like that. So there was good current down to the south there around the breakers and everything, and there were a few fish seen. We actually caught one in 500 the day before with the Take a Hero thing, which we ought to talk about at some point.
Yeah.
But so I opted to fish down that way, and there was probably 15 boats down there within Trumps through the breakers and all that, Mar-Lago. And there's some really amazing bottom down through there. So I set up kind of on the southern end of the pack, whatever, and you started seeing a little bit of the thing happening. Well, it was dead up to the north to speak of. I mean, there were a few fish getting caught here and there, and everybody that was in that area had a few bites. So I think it was like 11:30, 12 o'clock or whatever, and we were leading the day. And Bar South, who ends up winning the day, is winding their stuff down. Their last two baits in the water, they hook a double up there just north of Jupiter and say, well, shit, double, we better stay. And I guess at that point, it starts rolling up there for them pretty good. And we missed quite a few fish there day one. We should have taken the day hands down. But again, stupid rough and more lines in the water than we had in the Derby, and just weird stuff was happening. And we did get shopped on two fish even, which usually doesn't happen in that rougher stuff. Usually they get up there feeding.
Yeah.
But
did they got, was it 2 doubles there at the end? Or because when I was looking at the scoring, it almost looked like, man, did you guys just hit a quad, or maybe I just missed something?
Who, Bar South?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure how their scoring went.
Yeah.
But they definitely
get one of those guys
keyed it on a pattern, and they got it rolling. And
Yeah.
yeah, and they were doing some interesting stuff, kind of pulling their bait real hard. It was saw them the second day doing that. But then the odd thing, there were so many fish caught late in the day up there that I felt like And there was some interesting water up there,
Yeah.
some temperature changes, and not having been there the first day was tough to get up and run up in here and try to fish in it. But so day one to the south was on fire in the morning, and then kind of quieted down afternoon. We were, with that big giant Calcutta thing, we were fortunate to catch our two fish. So we had 4 bites afternoon. We only needed 2 to stay in the Calcutta thing. And we caught 2 of those 4 to stay in it. Well, up to the north, it was rolling. There was a bunch of guys that didn't survive the 4-fish morning thing because it just wasn't happening up there.
But it blew up in the afternoon.
Yep. So
Up north?
yeah,
It blew up?
blew
Yeah.
up, went nuts. There were a lot of fish caught there. So day 2, we decided going up there. Well, there was an interesting little edge, and it was so dark and overcast in the morning, I didn't see it running up, and it was so damn rough. And
I would say fucking rough, dude.
so rough, yeah. So, a constant spray. It was misery. Well, and I wasn't even paying.
Misery.
Yeah, there wasn't. We seldom are fishing temperature changes. The water just doesn't change.
Right.
If it 0.2 of a degree is a lot normally down here. Well, it was 1.5 degrees.
Yep.
And I didn't even notice it until Skip calls me on the phone. Hey, they're talking about a temp change down that way, and we're sitting in 77-degree water, and they're down there in 78.5-degree water. Whatever. We pull up, and we pull up late because it's so damn rough. It takes us a long time to get up there. It was a 20-mile run from Lake Worth Inlet there, and it took me an hour and 10 minutes to do it. It was so nasty. So
Wow.
Jimmy,
It was rough.
Yeah, I told the guys, hey guys, it's lines
Wow.
in when we get there, and I'm trying to find a place, and I get up there just north of Skip a little ways, and just south and east of Louis on Sandman. Jimmy brings bait, casts it. As I'm climbing up the tower, he's bit. He said, get the camera rolling, boys. We already got him on there. First bait in the water.
Wow.
Chase him around, we catch that one. Like, all right, well,
Yeah,
fishing cold green,
the
ugly
trip.
water.
Yeah.
But whatever, this is working. We end up catching a second fish maybe 10 minutes later. Well, we only need 3 to stay in that giant Calcutta. So I'm talking to Skip, and Skip's already knows about what's going on to the south down there and the better water and everything. But I've only got like 2.5 hours here. I just need one more bite. And this is another mistake, I think. Instead of fishing the tournament to win the tournament, I'm fishing to stay in that stupid Calcutta that was worth $370,000.
Yeah, real stupid.
Well, it screwed me a little bit. Or I screwed myself in worrying about it. So I stayed in that cold water too long and didn't see another fish until 12 o'clock. And then I picked up and run down there and saw, holy shit, we were fishing in the wrong spot this whole time, despite having
Yeah.
caught those 2 early fish.
So that those early fish really just kind of screwed your mind up.
Without a doubt. And then trying to stay in that Calcutta, needing that one more bite.
Yeah.
You
I think that's such a big part of tournament fishing too. Is like that.
Oh, it's all decision, man.
You
Yeah,
definitely
the-
Jedi mind trick yourself all the time.
for sure.
I on day 1, I'm sitting there, from the ledge to like the double zeros, and we had not seen a fish. There was only a handful caught around us. I talked to Art. They had like 6 or 7 fish within the first like 2 or 3 hours. I'm like, guys, break them down. We're out of here.
Yeah.
It was only like a 20-minute run for us. It was rough, but it was in the trough. We get there, put them up immediately, have a fish come up and shop us on the long. I'm like, all right, this is going to work. Another fish comes up, shops us. And then we never saw anything else. And the bite just totally went.
Nothing converted. Really.
The bite totally died down there
Wow.
from the breakers to trumps. It just died.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got lucky on on 2 resets there and saw some bait get up. Jim put a spinner in the bait there and immediately got bit
Yeah.
for our 2 late fish and had a couple more pop up in the kite there that didn't work out for us. But yeah, it had, by the time Skip had gotten down there, it was pretty well over.
Sailfish are such a fickle species, man.
So I picked up and ran back to the ledge where I was, stopped, put them out, and caught one immediately. I'm just like, all right, it is what it is,
We should have stayed here, damn it.
But the next day up there where Bar South was, in the morning, Art and I were right next to each other. We had a bite literally seconds after lines in. Fish couldn't have been more than about that big.
Oh.
I see it come up and pile on the left short. It's like mouthing the herring, starts swimming off, and he fed for like 2 minutes. I'm like, all right, try him, gets tight, comes up, hacks everything up.
The bait was too
There's
big.
there's not enough weight. No, there's just not
baby
enough
tail.
You
weight
can't
there.
pull
Get the
them.
circle hook
Yeah.
to get the slide
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So just
Fish, literally the fish was like the size of his bill.
Yeah.
If that.
yeah, the only option I've ever found on those really, really little ones is I try to drive over to them, reel the kite down, disconnect, try to drive as close as you can, couple turns of the handle,
Got
get
him.
leader because you're not hooking that fish
Right.
unless he gets so wrapped up and even
Yeah. Just hope he never spits.
yeah.
It's
And-
tough.
Yeah, that's in Steve-O, the first fish of the operation. It was a kind of not that small, but smaller fish. Ate on along and on the right long, and it was working to the south doing right, and I just looped around, and he's cranking. We get the leader, fish jumps right there, and everything comes out. Like, never really got tight on the fish because it was one of those little ones. I was petrified was going to do exactly that. And
Yeah.
never jumped until right next to the boat, leader in hand, everything. Goggle eye, hook, it's all perfect. Put the goggle eye back out if you wanted to. He's still swimming.
Yeah, we had it happen twice that first morning. We missed that one, then we caught one, and then I saw him one come up and eat the left long. I'm like, it wasn't a monster. Yep. Same scenario. We're back into him. We're like got the camera going, reaching for the leader, and he just hacks everything up. But then we made that reset back to the south, and we got kind of in the mix with everybody, and I kind of saw what Bar South was doing. We got a little roll. We ended up catching, I think we caught 6 or 7 that second day for 9 or 10 bites. So once you got the roll going, it makes it easy. But you got to catch that first one. You got to see how they're biting. And
oh man,
I had 3 bites on the second day.
It's frustrating.
I think I was by far the least bites of the whole fleet after probably having the most bites on day one.
I didn't want to really bring it up, but I mean, I was because I'm like, you're on the board, right? And then like this day 2, it's just like
it's so hard to go back. It's hard to go back.
I didn't even want to text you or anything about that. I was like, oh, but he must have been heartbroken.
Just angry. Yeah. I don't. I've been doing this long enough and had enough success. I get mad. I don't.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I meant. Yeah, it's just like ticked off or whatever.
And it's all decisions.
I don't want to rub salt on him, but yeah,
you can't be any harder on me than I've been on myself about that whole deal.
So tell me about this, the veterans event before the operation.
And that's what I don't understand, dude. I love Operation Sailfish. And the first time we fished it, Skip and I were fishing together, and we got a second place. And man, and I've always loved the tournament because the first day you take a veteran or two, and I've had the same 2 or 3 veterans I've been taking since day 1 now. Mm-hmm. Plus we'll usually add a new guy in as well. But dude, it gives you such a great feeling, and they've become friends. I mean, one of them, this Chris Susko, retired Navy and now retired Coast Guard. We speak probably mostly almost once a week. I mean, we speak on a regular basis. A guy I met through this thing. Really neat dude. My favorite part, and it's 2 years in a row we've won the top meat fish in the deal.
Oh, you won top meat. Nice.
Yep.
Fucker beat us by about wasn't much. So get this.
Oh,
so,
what did you catch?
For last year was a real nice dolphin. This year was a real nice kingfish.
30-pound king, right?
Yep.
We had something, a big dolphin, or we had something that came in second place this year by not much.
Yeah, but you won the sailfish division a couple of years ago.
We got it 2 years in a row.
Oh, you did? There you go. I've never won anything in that damn tournament other than meat fish for the year.
In operation, you never.
It's the only one I haven't won yet. Yeah.
You mean like when you say won, like the whole thing, or never placed?
Yeah, won the whole thing.
Just won the whole
thing.
thing.
Oh, no, we got a second.
Yeah, I was going to say, you've had to
second
place
and
in that
fifth.
tournament.
Yeah.
Wow, that's I love the veterans tournaments. I mean, obviously, it's no secret around here. We really support the FFO. We all do.
Yeah.
And those events that Sarah and Vinny put on are fantastic because you get so interactive with the veterans. Yep. And it's really important. A lot of people say, "Oh, I want to give to the veterans." Yeah, I support the veterans, and they'll share a meme. But this is different. Like when you go out fishing with somebody, we've explained before, you create that bond with that person, and it's a deeper kind of primal thing, right?
Yep.
And then when you can get on that level with a veteran, it really is a special moment because you obviously you respect them
immensely
to the hilt.
Absolutely.
And like you said, you become friends with them, and then it becomes more of a deeper meaning after a while. So it's really cool.
Like Operation Sailfish is very similar to what FFO does. The night before you have a little party and food and a couple of cocktails, and you actually sit down and share a meal with them, and then you go fishing and have a little party afterward again. It's cool. Really good. I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah, that's really cool, and it's really important. I mean, I don't want to sit there and say these guys need help, but
they do need help.
Need support. Really, I mean, it's like they want to. They need.
I think they need to feel appreciated.
Appreciation for sure.
It's on Surreal. It's really cool because I have a couple guys that are veterans on there, and recent veterans that just got out, and they really connect with these guys and have great conversations with them. Even with Vinny's thing with FFO, same thing. It was really good.
Yeah, no, I agree, and we can't support that initiative enough on any level, whether it's FFO or whether it's Operation Sailfish or
walking down the street.
Walking down the street, anything like that.
I bought a dude lunch. I was up in Maryland for White Marlin Open several years ago, and there's a lot of military activity going on in there, and just saw a dude sitting there having lunch in his fatigues, and
Yeah.
bought him lunch, and you got out of there before you even knew about it. And dude, I felt good about that forever.
Sure. Absolutely.
And
Yep. And you know what? That's awesome that you did that. And I think more people need to do stuff like that. I mean, if
Absolutely.
the country doesn't want to take the proper initiatives to support them and to be there for them in the way they should be, then maybe it's just up to the people. Just take control of that matter and just, support these guys. Seriously. I mean, if you see, especially an old guy that's got one of those old, the Korean War hats or the Vietnam hats.
Yeah,
or
anything.
Not too many World War II hats left, but,
No.
just do your best to, just, hey, what can I do for you? No matter what it is. Every little thing matters. So.
Dude, a thank you goes a long, long way for those fellas, especially the
does.
Vietnam guys who felt so left out.
I mean, even like I've done before, and I don't want to, I've done, but even like the other day, we were at the park with my son. We took them fishing, got them tied on a couple of bass and stuff like that. Just fun for the kids. It was a beautiful day out. I wanted to get them out of the house. Afterwards, we rolled to the park. This is out in Parkland. And we pull into the truck.
The Everglades.
What's that?
The Everglades.
Yep. And we pull in this truck I pull in front of. There's a big license plate on the front that says Vietnam veteran, right? So I look at that, and I write a little note, and I just say, thank you for your service. And I put it behind his windshield. And that's it. I never saw the guy.
He probably walks up. Yeah, he walks up thinking,
Oh, yeah, ticket.
somebody hit,
right?
somebody hit my truck.
Yeah.
Damn it.
But every little thing counts
No,
to that point,
Absolutely.
And then my son sees me do it, and he asks me what I'm doing, and that's a teaching lesson too.
For sure.
At
For
that
sure.
point, So,
Very cool.
yep, it's all good. So I want to bring up this part of this new part of our tournament talk episode, which
I know where this is going already.
where's it going? Questions.
Questions.
So we had a thing on Facebook and Instagram, social media, if you will.
I wondered how the response went.
So
You didn't
all right.
see all that stuff that Jimmy and
I saw
Steve
that.
put?
But, yeah.
So we randomly printed out a handful of the top questions that were emailed to us. So we got a few here. We're gonna read our top ones, and then after we're done reading them, then you have to select the winner, right? So we
There's a winner in this.
There's a winner because what they can win is
I saw the.
right. So all right, so here we go. Tournament talk. Ask questions for Art and Skip. Yay! We're gonna roll a graphic here because I'm gonna make a graphic, and John's gonna do his thing. So, but what I want to do before we do that, Troy Ganter, our friends at Papa's Raw Bar, and now the new Pop Amigos.
Is there food in there?
There is no food in here.
Damn it.
Are you hungry?
You got me all fired up. I get all fired.
Want some Skittles?
Don't need that.
So, Troy was really nice enough to contribute to the cause here for the show. We have an Eat, Drink, and Be Local Papa's Raw Bar, Pop Amigos gift bag. And what is in here is...
Y'all people are lucky there's no food in there. It'd be gone.
Well, there is wine. So
I'm good.
We got a Papa's hat,
Nice.
Right?
Very nice.
and we got...
Looks like somebody was wearing it already.
I was going to say, it's kind of beat up.
We got Eat, Drink, and Be Local Cabernet.
Lovely.
Yep. And we have... What else is in here? And Eat, Drink, and Be Local Chardonnay. Right? And we have some... Oh, well, we have contributed an official... Let me see this one. An official Connected by Water presented by Joey Accardi, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram.
Nice.
Coffee mug.
Rolls right off the top.
Right?
Remember that first time?
Yeah. Jodge. Let's say Jodge with a J. That's that. We're going to contribute that in there. And we got some Pop Amigos and swag and some stickers. Now, Pop Amigos, I have to tell you, is the new restaurant opening up shortly in Old Town, right across from City Hall and right across from the new Civic Center in that place where they do all the food trucks and everything. This is going to be a cool restaurant.
Nice.
So what it is he's calling it Cajun, right? It's like this Jamaican, Asian, like sushi, Mexican fusion kind of thing, where there's a bunch of unique kind of tacos and ceviches and all kinds of things. It's called Pop Amigos.
Speaking my language.
It is going to be the hottest restaurant in town. I'm telling you, this
You
place
want to
is
get
gonna
in the
kill
door.
it.
Great.
Right there you go. And then also the big coup de grace. Troy also contributed a $50 gift card
Yay.
to Papa's Raw Bar. Right, so one lucky winner at the end of us reading these questions is going to win this swag bag.
You can get a surreal roll.
You can get a cereal roll. Pretty soon you're going to be able to get a Connected by Water roll.
Nice.
So, and they have we had Recently, we had House Representative Chip LaMarca on.
Cool.
For the state of Florida, and they have Chips Oysters
forget your
or something like that.
coffee mug.
Right, the coffee mug goes in there. So, all
You throw
right.
some Skittles
So,
in
without further ado, we're going to start reading some questions. All right, let me put that there. I don't want to drop anything. All right, we're good.
Don't break the wine.
So, what's the first question we're going to read? I think we should lead off with this one. So, do you guys want to read that? So
I can't read it.
No? I'll read it. All right,
You
I'll
can
put
read
my
it.
glasses. I can read it. So, it says, "Hi, guys. It's Mandy McDaniel."
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
This is our first question. It says, "So I've got questions, but one very important question. Who's going to have a better show out for the 2020 Quest Series, Surreal or Native Son?"
As of right now,
Yes.
Native Son is definitely in the lead.
Native Son is
I've
definitely
got-
in the lead.
I think I've got 0.0 points right now. We came in like 27th place, right? It only gets.
So you got 3 points in.
Oh, does it?
Yep.
It goes through 30, right?
Yep.
Something like that.
So you got points.
Yeah, he got points.
All right. How many points do you have right now?
15, 14?
No, we did better than that. We ended up in 12th, so 30 minus 12,
All right.
18 points.
There you go. You're asking the guy who went to art school to do some math. That's cool.
Right on.
So she also goes on to ask another question. Who got y'all into fishing? Your dad, older sibling, or was it something you just saw and were instantly passionate about?
I know where Art's going here. Dad got that.
Yeah, we all
Dad-
know the story
Dad-
behind that one, right?
Yep, it's genetic. Yeah, there was no option. Dad, grandpa, and forever beyond that. Yeah, grandpa fish man, and the truth be told, the old man as a young man was a hunter far more than a fisherman. But by the time I was around, it was all about fishing.
And how many generations back does that go for the Sapp
7.
family? 7 generations.
So my dad was a police officer in Pompano.
Oh, he was?
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
my dad was a police officer, loved to fish, and if I wasn't, I grew up right behind Merritt's Boatyard.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I was, if I wasn't in school or playing sports, I was literally at the boatyard, walking around, fishing, doing my thing. And back then they had the longline fleet there.
Mm-hmm.
So the longline guys would come back, and they would just dump me. They would give all the squids and whatever they had. So I would be there all day, just cutting and dumping stuff in the water and fishing and
Oh, that's awesome.
just doing my thing. It was a blast. It was a great upbringing for me. So I
That's
went from Merritt's to being able to ride my bike to the pier and working my way up to fish on the drift boat and just going from there.
Yeah, nice. But the longline fleet, that's back when Skip Smith and I think Ed
Oh, yeah.
Dahl were working on that.
Yep,
right?
everybody was
Ed
involved.
Memorial.
Montello's.
And looking
Well,
back,
yeah,
back now, my dad must have been some kind of a psychopath to let me hang out with all these longline guys. You know what I mean? Because they used to have this big tree out in the back by in Merritt's. There's this huge ficus tree, and underneath there was like the longline guys clubhouse. There was a cooler and a bunch of chairs, and my buddies and I found a bunch of old Playboys in there. It was awesome, So it was cool.
That's awesome.
We're like 9, 10, 11 years old. So for us, it was cool. So when the long line guys were gone, that was our fort, when they were
Yeah,
there,
I bet
they
it
all got
was.
there, But that's how I got into fishing.
You
It was-
guys were probably pitching a fort too.
Oh, Jesus.
From the sounds of it. Sorry. Did I go too far?
Maybe.
I probably did a little bit.
Maybe.
So, all right. So, Mandy asks about 17 questions here. So,
I saw a long list.
yeah, let's roll through. How did you both decide you knew you wanted to be captains? What would you likely be doing if it weren't the fishing industry?
I did the golf course industry for a long time, and just to pay for the fishing
Yeah.
bills.
Means to an end.
Yep. And then realized pretty quickly, well, I should say it took 15 years to realize, wait a minute, making more money winning tournaments than I am spending long before daylight to long after dark on a golf course is working on them. So
Yeah.
kind of just naturally, and I've never considered myself a boat captain. It was just, it was a privately owned deal with my buddies. We were working and at some point had to try to figure out how to pay the mortgage when we were getting out of that golf thing. So went and got a license and got into the charter fishing thing and dearly loved that.
Yeah, there you go.
But it's really all about the tournaments.
I think you'd be a professional fantasy football player, right? If you weren't.
I could get into that. I could have a fantasy football podcast, but
Gambling.
it's the only job that I've ever had. I've never done anything.
Right.
I've never.
And this
filled
has
a-
really been like your life.
I've never
forever.
filled out an application in my life. I've never done anything except fish or the
That's
fishing
awesome.
industry.
Yeah.
My first job was working at a custom rod gun for Tommy when I was like 10, 11. And I slowly worked up to the drift boats, and it's been doing it ever since.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, it's kind of like been me with art. You know, I've had, different odd jobs, delivering pizzas and stuff like that, but I've always been an artist. I mean, there's never ever been an idea of like being something else in my head. It's always been. I never even applied to like a regular.
But it's funny.
colleges.
If I wasn't doing this, I think I would be in the landscape industry somehow. I love grass. I love all that kind of stuff.
I
That shit
love the
gets old.
smell of fresh cut grass.
Yeah, nothing
I really
better.
do.
Especially when somebody else
Smells like
cuts
barracudas to me.
it. I think barracuda smell like green beans.
You know, it's funny you ask. I still don't know what the hell I'm going to do for a living.
I'm still working on it.
You figure it out
Yeah,
at some
right.
point here, right? But no, there's all these people that go through their youth with a direction. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to be successful at a doctor or whatever the hell and they know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what the hell's wrong with those people? I still don't know what I'm going to do for a living.
Mandy also wants to know what other fishing experiences that you have yet to do that are on your bucket list.
People do those things too. Bucket list. What the fuck is a bucket list?
So I went to Costa Rica, and it was probably the only time in my life it is the only time in my life I went fishing and got skunked. It sucked. We
Los
saw
Sueños?
we were out of Capos.
Capos?
So I went down
I've
there.
gotten skunked out of Capos too.
We
We've
went
had
down
great
there.
days in Costa Rica too, but there was one day where I'm like, come on, this is Costa Rica. It's not supposed to happen.
So it was a great time. We had a great trip. It's hard to go to Costa Rica and not have a good time. But we went
Right.
down for my buddy Mikey's 30th birthday party. And those guys, me and my buddy Mikey and Tweety, they got freaking hammered. So we got the boat for the next morning. They came in at like 5 o'clock in the morning. I'd be up at 6. I get them up. We get to the boat, and these guys are shot. So they're down below sleeping. I'm like, dude, it's going to be epic. I'm going to have all the fish for myself all day long.
That's awesome.
And it sucked. Like literally nothing. Saw one flopper, and I don't know. I would love to do. I think I would like to do like the Amazon, maybe do something like that, and maybe like the Great Barrier Reef. I think that would be cool to see some of those giant marlin. But other than that, I'm not a huge trip guy. I mean, I'd like to go to maybe Hawaii and check that out.
I'd love to fish Hawaii.
Yeah,
That'd probably be one of my
just to
bucket
see
list
it and
things.
check it out. And I don't know, I love our fishery here. So.
Yeah.
He's probably going to put his nose up at this next statement, but one thing I always wanted to do was fly fishing in Montana on the Big Blackfoot River.
I'll go look at it. Go look at the critters walking around.
I've always wanted to do that.
Why you want to catch a fly?
I just want-
Technology,
I like it.
brother.
I
Technology.
I understand, but I'm an
Now,
artist,
there are-
man.
with that
I'm an
shit
artist. I love the process.
See, I get all that too. And like when I go to upstate New York and visit family up there, the first thing I do is grab a rod, go to the end of the dock, and I start catching little perch that are like this big.
I'll do that in New York minute.
See, I don't care what I'm catching as long as I'm catching something. It's
Or
cool.
seeing something. I don't
Yeah.
even have to catch it. I just want to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Mandy. For those questions, I'm going to save this one for the end there.
Uh-oh.
There's a couple good ones in there. I looked.
Yeah,
at
a
the
couple
list.
good ones. Courtney Walter asks, what is your favorite part of fishing? Being on the water, winning money, hanging out with others, stress relief, all the above. What motivates you? What's your favorite part?
Yes. All the above.
All the above.
Camaraderie's huge. There's no doubt. And it's out, the boat is where it's at for the most part. But then outside of that, around the tournaments and everything. But, dude, there's colors that show up in the ocean that don't exist anywhere else in the world. And I'm addicted to them. I've got to see them. And I mean, the whale shark. And there's the thrills that I get out of the ocean, I don't think exist anywhere else. I've spent a ton of time in the woods and I've seen the mountains and they're beautiful.
I can't agree more.
could be
You're asking, you're
thousands.
telling
Yeah.
the wrong guy about that. I've built my life around
About the
that. What
colors.
you're saying right now. Yeah.
Thousands of fish of I don't know, tens, hundreds of thousands, I don't know. And one shows up in the spread, whatever it is that I'm targeting that day, and I lose my shit to this day. I just go bonkers.
Yeah.
That,
When you first see that color come up, when the fish, I mean, nothing really beats. Or you see like a fish all lit up, just like even like a sailfish lit up, or
Something-
a mahi, or like
So-
when the wahoo first comes out of the water.
yeah.
It's like incredible.
here's and even to take it beyond that is to recognize, to develop a relationship with different species of fish, and to recognize when different color patterns show up in a fish. And an example, Georgie Corzo was in the tower with me in that Bar South boat down in Key West on a pre-fish day, a day before the tournament, and we saw a Taylor a ways out, and I don't know, probably 60 yards out. I said, "Damn, Georgie, this one's going to bite." And there's bad down there. They're bad not to bite in Key West, Taylors. I A really, really warm and actively feeding sailfish will get a white diamond in the middle of his forehead. And this dude's extraordinarily successful. So he's, what the fuck are you talking about? And I said, look, you see that white spot on the top of his head?
Yep.
Put a bait in front of it. He will go electric
up.
blue and eat it instantly. Done. Instantly. Never seen it before. Never recognized it. Well, if you study this stuff long enough, you'll be like an artist looking at a Picasso or something. You guys see shit that would, whatever. It's a really neat painting to us.
Right.
Well, you study the fish long
That
enough.
is true. I mean, you look at a painting and like I'll see shapes and composition that
I don't recognize.
trained or untrained. You know what I mean? You'll still see patterns in how the whole composition, the weight, and the balance, and the mass of the whole thing. Yeah, for sure.
And you get considerably more enjoyment out of that painting because of those abilities,
Right.
than the average layman. Well, that's what I try to get across to is people that don't get to see it a whole lot. Look, you're seeing some really cool shit, but if you saw it through my eyes right now, you might pass out.
Right.
It's
true. There's
fucking
a
amazing.
deep understanding.
Yep. And to be able to tell
your craft at that point.
that fish is about to turn left and this is why, or it's so cool to me.
Definitely. It's same with sailfish, same with dolphin, same with everything. Like you'll be in a school of dolphin,
bars.
be like, all right, that one's not going to eat, that one's going to eat, that one's not going to eat, that one's going to eat.
Yeah.
And it's funny to see that.
Yeah, to study it and then recognize it and then to be right is so satisfying.
That fish are so beautiful, man. They really are.
Yep.
All right. Thank you very much, Courtney. The next one
Hopefully
comes.
we answered you.
Yeah, no, I think you guys did a really good job answering that one. Will Harrington comes up with this one. This is a good question. When it comes to fishing tournaments against teams that are extremely competitive and equally as skilled, what kind of mindset and attitude do you expect out of your team to win, and what small changes do you make to set you apart from just competing to winning?
There's a whole bunch of answers to that question, but first and foremost, it is the mindset. That there has to be an absolute belief that what we're doing is the right thing, no matter whether it is or not, and the absolute belief that we're going to win at the end of the day. One way or another, it generally, you don't usually need more than an hour and a half of getting a roll going to win a day, and then carry that an hour and a half the next day, and you win a tournament. So that belief has to be there. And shit, there was more to the question.
Yeah, well, it's almost about fishing about other elite guys too.
Oh, okay.
What do you do to really separate yourself from the rest? Because I
Make
think this
better
goes back
decisions.
to what we were talking about earlier about the decisions. How that can really play against your mind. Like, what's that guy doing? Because I already know that.
Don't care about what that guy's doing.
Hard. It's so hard because when you're sail fishing, you hear Sandman, Sandra, Bar South Rob. You hear it over and over again, and you hear it more than once. You're like, man, they're really crushing them. That might be two fish in an hour and a half.
What did they see, or what did they?
But you
didn't see?
think everybody around you is crushing them. Then you're constantly checking guys are checking their phone.
Yeah.
So where's Art at? Where's who at? And I'm like, God, settle down. Let's just keep fishing.
Yeah.
It's hard
They take an
stand that
8-fish lead. I don't care.
Yep.
I need an hour and a half. Let me make one good. I tell the dudes constantly all day.
pass.
One good decision. We are one good decision away from winning this day.
And you know what? We've seen you do it so many times, Art, and it's true.
We all do. It's when you do it long enough, it's always one good decision away from making something really good start to happen, and then piling on top of that.
Maybe one little reset, one little jog inshore, going from 100 feet to 120, and you get a couple extra bites and.
Yep.
Looking in the right direction at the right moment.
Oh, flopper! I was on the phone with him. We were fishing the Buck Cup this weekend.
Second day of the Buck.
Yeah.
Your second day.
Yeah, we're sitting there. Actually, just you talk about decisions. We laid on our second day, but we still went fun fishing because the owner had some family in town, or friends in town, and we went 5 for 7. We would have won the daily and would have bumped us up to 3rd or 4th place in the tournament. This is how it goes.
Yeah.
But I'm on the phone with him, and we started down there off the breakers. The bite had been good off the breakers, kind of the same scenario as Operation Sailfish. And the afternoon bite had been turned on up at the ledge. So we're going to go there, get a few bites. We literally put the baits out, seconds after lines in right long. Boom, we caught one. Made another bump back in the shore, set everything up. I'm on the phone with him.
I'm charter fishing.
Flopper!
Dude, I'm listening the whole time.
Flopper just outside the left long. We set the kite out, stopped it. One came up and piled on the left middle. Another one came up and ate the left short. And it's like, you're talking about with that scenario where it's tough because it's like a It's like a ballet. All right, this one's feeding this way, this one's going that way. You're like, which one you get tight on first? I'm like, all right, go and get tight on the short because the long was or the middle was scoped out so far away from them. So they got tight on the short, got tight in the middle, and they went right across each other and one burned the other one off. But there's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah, that's how it goes. Yeah. Oh,
So
man.
frustrating.
And we sat there for another 45 minutes, an hour with no bites. And
Reliving it.
went, no, that happens. Then we went to the ledge and we caught one more up there and watched Louis just wear everybody out.
You say that though, again, though, it was only, he did a great job one turn, congrats, but it was only 8 fish.
Yeah.
So
It was just a slow bite.
Yeah.
an hour, 8 fish an hour. And you're right there again. It's just a couple multiples. And
in the Derby, like Jamie won that tournament basically in probably about 45 minutes. The end of the day on day one, they didn't have a fish until 2:00.
Yep.
They caught 6 in an hour and a half.
Yep,
And then they caught that quad and a few more scattered throughout the day, and that was it.
Yep, there's your win.
And that was the win.
Guess who he beat?
But the other thing, you think about sail fishing,
That
it's
kid's
like
on fire.
king fishing, it's like you're getting bite after bite after bite after bite. Normally it's kind of nonstop all day. Sail fishing is like, all right, we got 2, and then you have an hour of nothing. And then you catch a couple more. And,
Yeah, it's really. I mean,
Lately.
it's such a sport, and it's such a strategic thing.
That's why it's so hard
Yeah.
it's so hard to stay diligent and be patient and wait and wait and wait. Not
Yeah,
move around
especially
too
when
much.
when all the reports of all the other guys catching
Yep.
fish are all. Yeah, it's tough. All right, let me lighten this up a little bit. So the next up is Sarah LaSorsa from the FFO. Do you believe in the banana bad luck superstition on boats? If so, how far do you take it? For instance, do you believe in it and not even allow banana boat sunscreen on your boat?
Me personally, I do not believe in any of that garbage.
Me neither. Not at all.
So I think Bernard kind of debunked that whole thing.
Yeah, he did
When
cut
he-
us
when he was
fishing on a
in
banana.
Guatemala.
Well, there is some fact to all that. There's some history to that. Bananas, if you put bananas in your fruit basket close to the rest of your fruit goes south in a hurry. And that's the whole story. It was, they put bananas in the food stores on the old blowboats way back
Right.
in the day, and all their food went to shit in a hurry. So never again, bananas are bad luck. It killed us all. We all died because of the damn thing. So, I mean, there's some history to it.
Right.
So that's where the whole bananas are bad luck thing came from. And a lot of the guys in the Northeast, where a lot of those blowboats were coming and going from, still firmly believe in all that. And they all live down here now and in the Keys. So
Yeah, and
They
so
brought
it's
it
not
with
really
us.
bad luck. Just makes the rest of your fruit go bad. So I mean,
all your food. I mean, it really
Yeah.
whatever's gases it releases as it.
yeah, because
ripens.
once you pick it off the line or the what do you call that thing the bunch
Stalk.
the bunch the stalk or
Well,
whatever.
also the other story too is like when they would ship those banana crates, they would have all kinds of weird spiders in them and stuff like that. And guys would get by the spiders and die. And so
Yeah,
the bananas, they always said bananas were bad luck.
gotcha.
But I don't.
But they
believe
sure
in,
taste good.
I don't believe in any of that garbage.
Yeah, I don't believe in the superstition. I mean, I thought it was so hilarious when Bernard was catching those sailfish in Guatemala and just sticking banana peels on their bills. Just
Now, I do every morning find me a picture of a sailfish before a tournament, though. Just got to, yep, that's the dude. Got to go find him.
Oh, you do have a ritual.
I do. A bit of a ritual. Very, very, but I want to see him.
All right.
We have a little coconut doll thing that we ended up with from the.
Coconut doll.
It's like we call it Miss Real. It's like this coconut. It's like this coconut creature that somehow, after a big night in Bimini, we ended up with it on the boat somehow, and that's been our good luck charm for a while.
I like it.
You got to post a picture of that.
You remember the?
Well, it's gone now. We got a new one now.
All right.
You remember when we had the camel?
You'll see if John can
the
pop
ca-
that up.
yeah,
there.
Camel.
Camel the camel after the Jimmy Johnson.
After Jimmy Johnson win there,
Camel?
we brought Camel to the award ceremony with us, and Skip down there murdered some poor girl she tried to ride Camel and broke her leg, and Skip was mad. I don't blame her. Camel was cool. But
So you got to premise the story. We were in this house down there. This guy had this weird
2 years in a row.
this weird what was it made out of?
It's like leather. It was a leather
Weird.
camel. Maybe it was camel skin. I don't know.
It was like a small
Camel.
camel.
It was a camel, dude.
So
he had an
funny.
alligator. He had all kinds of stuff in the house.
So you bring this fishing with you on the
So,
boat? Okay.
So we won the Jimmy Johnson, right?
right.
And the party ensues.
The party goes on, and we bring Camel. We named her Camel the camel to the
Don't ask me how to spell that.
Kamel.
I think you just need an accent on the E at that
So
point.
Okay.
so we brought it to the awards. We got it draped in a liquid shirt and all this other stuff. Girl breaks his leg. So we're
I
polluted.
thought Kamel was a girl.
No. Kamel
Kamel
was
was
the
a boy?
camel.
I know, but
I don't freaking
you just
know.
said his leg. I thought Kamel was a
Whatever.
girl.
Kamel's transgender.
It's identifying as a camel.
Okay.
So we get back to the house and we're like, there's no way this guy's gonna notice his leg's broken. So we got it like all like put together. Like if you went like this, it would just go and fall over. so Jim Steele gets a call like
No, but it was a dude at the award ceremony. He says, "Wait a minute, I know that camel." Is
that what it
my
was?
buddy's house. Yeah, well, it all came together.
so Jim gets a call, right? About the camel. We're like, all right, how much
Jim
for
Steele?
the camel? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was like $300 the guy went for the camel. So this goes on, yeah, we'll pay you. So it's like we'll pay you, but we're taking the camel then if we're buying
We
the
get to
camel.
keep the camel, yeah.
So now it's like a month and a half later, we're going to Miami for the 400, one of those tournaments.
Yeah, the final. No, it was final sale.
Was it final
then.
sale?
Yeah, we were
On the Key West?
So
Yeah. Oh,
So-
no, it was in Miami this year.
I mean,
I thought you were talking. I
this
thought you
is
were talking about
the
it way
first
back when.
around camel
No,
time.
the first one, yeah, our camel time. The first final sale was in Miami.
Yep.
Okay.
So nobody knows. So I blaze to Key Largo. I buy the camel from the guy, bring it here. I put it in the apartment that we're going to before anybody gets there. So everybody goes up to the penthouse. They're like, "Holy shit, Kamel's here!" And we proceeded to lose the jackets, and Kamel was deemed bad luck, and she's somewhere in the ocean, right?
Yeah, she went swimming.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
Let's all pay our respects to
But it was really fun.
Kamel,
Kamel
see
was
the
great.
transgender camel.
Oh, it was a good time.
Oh, for sure.
The all right. So, Sarah, does that answer your question about bananas?
We prefer camels.
Yeah, we'll take a camel over a banana anytime.
All right. So, camels over bananas. All right. So, camels are bad luck. So, we're going to double up on the sources here because Vinny asked a question as well. Captain Vinny LaSorsa of The Last Mango asks, what's the best quality you look for in choosing a mate? And we're talking about fishing mates, not mates. Best quality in a mate. Listen,
Positive attitude.
good one.
For sure that.
Attitude, attention to detail, I would say.
Good
I mean,
with the chamois.
yeah, right. But I would say, depending on if they're coming on like to just get going, like when I get somebody new on like that works for me on the boats and stuff like that, I like a blank slate. I like people I can show how to do stuff. Willingness to learn, I would say.
I've had Jimmy now for
Ever?
2019, so I've had him for 17 years. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
He
No,
said
Chris
he was
came-
going to call in, but
Yeah,
my
he
phone
doesn't even
hasn't
know.
rung yet.
He doesn't know. Although no, he wouldn't know you were here. But anyway, and then Chris there, Niskren, he basically was a blank slate. He spent his whole life in the ocean, but they didn't fish. So he's been phenomenal. I mean, he's come a long, long way.
I think if you have a good crew member, like you say mate, but like we have crews of 8-10 guys. It gets to a point where it's like second nature. You don't have you don't have to say anything. Like when Art and I fished together, like I was thinking when he was thinking the
whole
same
time.
time he was thinking it, you know.
So
So we
easy.
would see something and I'm doing it before Art could say it, and
Yep.
it's nice to have that kind of relationship with whoever's with you on the boat, you know. And
Absolutely.
it's hard to find out. The crews that do very, very, very well, that's the kind of relationship they have with their crews.
And
you
that
know?
happens over time.
Yeah.
And I think since this is the tournament talk edition, I think it's also important to point out, at least this may be my opinion, that what you just said, the whole, the chemistry thing, might be more important during sailfish season than in meat fish season.
No, there's a lot more going on in meat fish
Yeah,
season.
there's more stuff going on for sure. You're fishing
yeah.
more lines. There's all kinds of stuff going on.
But I would think, though, but with the strategy and the thing that we're talking about,
There's one guy doing strategy on the boat.
okay.
And there's so many moving parts in meat season that it's harder to do the meat thing than it is physically harder to do meat than sailfishing.
Right.
Strategically in the mental game in the sailfish world is the competition so intense and so much better. That's far harder.
And it's a lot of times a broader field too.
Yeah.
Todd Harper asks, how worried are you about your bait when it's rough, like the last two tournaments? I know your wells are probably pressurized, but that is some big stuff going on.
in a CV boat, I'm not worried at all. My
Not
boat,
worried at all.
I'm still fishing bait that rode one of those 2 days in my charters and catching fish on them.
Mm-hmm.
If your bait wells are set up well and you should never have an issue.
No worries.
Not at all. None whatsoever.
Same for me. I've got like, I don't know, 60 or 70 gogs left over from Operation Sailfish that are just sitting perfect.
Right.
As long as your wells are pressurized, you can
And your guys,
flip your boat over.
yeah, and your guys aren't. And that whole pressurized term is you're not adding pressure to the tank. You're just not allowing it to slosh. I mean, water's got to be able to spill out freely.
Yeah.
But and I don't know that it would matter if you were somehow actually adding pressure to the tank because I mean these fish swim deep. But it'd be a lot of rapid changes. But also your guys not dipping 20 of them at a time and we've had to do some corrections every now and then to remind guys of picking them up, throwing them back in the well. If you do, you try to dip one fish, the fish you want. But if you don't, and you get 2 or 3, you see that one fish while still in the water, you take it and dump them.
the others.
Don't drag them all out of the water. Because if you're getting bit in the morning and you're not in the later in the day, and everybody else is still getting bit, well, most likely guys are rough on your bait and you're not presenting as well as you need to be, or your boat's bait well system sucks.
Yeah, on Surreal, we have 2 transom wells that I normally load with gogs, and normally we'll fish gogs out of one side before we go to the other. I like to do that.
Very good idea.
That way,
That's
you have,
smart,
that way you
yeah.
have fresh baits for the afternoon.
Yep.
Yeah, even if, all right, so I got to go from this side to dip over here. I don't care. Just keep that side fresh. Keep 50 or 60 fresh baits over there for the afternoon bite.
Smart.
It makes a huge difference. Same with our herrings. We have 2 herring wells. We'll pull out of one first, and then we'll go that. And we have a forward well, too, that
So how many wells do you have total in there? Like 50?
I have 5 wells on my boat.
Yeah, 5 wells total. Nice.
4 on mine.
So Jim Ruback asks, how many cases of beer do you load on the boat? I promised I might ask the question.
I answered them on
Yeah,
Facebook.
you answered them. No beer in the tournament.
In the
but-
summer,
Not for my guys.
in the summertime, pretty much a case of beer per guy.
Okay.
In the sailfish tournaments, I mean we'll have beer in the boat, but nothing crazy.
Right.
Jay Jones will take down a case, and Mike Gullo will take down 7 cases, and then they've got 3 bottles of rum for backup when all that's gone.
So,
And then the rest of the guys generally just wait for the rum. They'll usually start rum 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, maybe a little later.
All right.
Which is so
we got
much
rum
better.
here too, by the way.
yeah,
Probably
my
should have brought that up earlier if you
guys will
wanted.
nip at the beers during the day. Like sometimes it's like if it's 10 o'clock, we having a bite. I'm like somebody's got to have a beer. Somebody's got to take one for the team.
BL Rally, dude.
BL
The boys
Rally,
are all
man.
about it. That or Kit Kat Rally, one or the other.
Oh boy,
Can't
sounds
give you a hint.
sounds like McDonald's here.
Was Cooper Smith probably done drinking by like noon, ready to go to sleep?
Coop is always different, man. Sometimes he gets that steady flow going, and he can ride the wave.
All right. So our grand finale here. Steve Doherty asks,
Oh, Steven.
on the Surreal Fishing team with 10 anglers and 3 spotters, how long does it take to cook 5 pancakes in 8-foot seas?
So, to clarify that, it's not pancakes; it's waffles.
Waffles, all right.
And
Now hot dogs.
just like at home, it takes about 3 minutes to cook a waffle, right? Something like
Yep.
that.
And you got a hot dog maker for
So
the boat
now
right?
we officially have a hot dog maker, or a hot dog toaster, I guess you would call it. It looks just
Okay.
like a toaster where everything goes in. So the buns go in wrapped in a hot dog and gets it nice and hot.
That is so awesome.
I cannot wait to pop that thing out.
Yeah. Awesome.
We're gonna put it to work this weekend.
Yeah. There was a question on there that I noticed that I didn't. I figured, what the hell, you're supposed to email them in, but a guy was asking about
About the hooks?
the hooks. And I figured, why
Well, I
not?
didn't see it. I didn't see that one.
Yeah,
I wasn't gonna go there, but I
have no problem going there.
Okay.
Whatever.
there's-
Yeah,
there's
because
no-
it changes every day.
There's no secrets.
So the secret was about the different size hooks on the longs and the
Right.
shorts.
So forever I fished one size larger on my goggle eyes on the longs, and with the VMCs it was 7s on the long, 6s inside. And early in the season, every now and then, years back, we used to fish some tiny little sardines when we were fishing a lot in Miami, and there were a lot of those smaller fish around in December, and even some in November when we were down there. And I'd go all the way down to 4.0 mustad, this tiny little thing. I mean, you could straighten it out with your fingers, but so there were some changes. Right now, I'm fishing all 6.0 VMCs in the kites and 5.0s in the spinners, and that's that.
That's it.
Yep.
And so depending on conditions or anything, you're still just keeping.
There's scenarios where we'll go ultralight, but it doesn't happen often.
Yeah.
We're always ready for it, but it doesn't happen often.
Gotcha. How about you?
I'm 6070 VMCs. 70s for the long gogs, and then 60s for everything else.
Cool. Well, thanks for answering that question. So send in your questions, email them to sales@connectedbywater. We're doing this every month, right? And you too could be the winner of a Papamigos prize bag.
And hopefully we'll have a condition where some neat stuff goes down where there's more to talk about rather than just trying to survive.
I did see a Taylor in the last.
I
Actually, two
haven't seen a
Taylors.
free jumper or a Taylor in a tournament yet this year. Not one.
I saw 2 floppers and 2 Taylors in the same day on the last day of the buck.
You know, I didn't get to fish the buck.
Cool. Yeah. So we got coming up.
So when is this going to air?
This is I don't know. That's up to whenever John can get it all out of the.
Not before this weekend.
Possibly.
Oh, okay.
No, or you want it to air Monday?
I can probably get it done Friday. We can probably post this up Friday evening.
All right, good.
You want it done before the weekend?
Huh?
No,
I was just going to talk about something, but I'm not going to talk about it now if it's going to go up for the weekend.
So coming up now, we got the Cove tournament this weekend, the IGFA light tournament or light tackle tournament next weekend. Yep. Then we have the boat show. Then we have Sailfish Challenge. Then a week off, and then we have the Jimmy Johnson.
And the Jimmy Johnson.
Is it just 1 week between the two?
Yep.
Wow, that's quick.
That's it.
A lot of bait fishing. Then we have a few weeks off, and then we have final sail, and then it's time to go meat fishing.
That's it. Wow.
Go to the Bahamas,
so we are
catch some blue
smack
marlin.
dab
Yep.
in the middle of sailfish season right now. So
Yes.
All right. Anything else you guys want to add before we sign off?
I'm going to bed.
Going to bed. You guys are tired. You earned it. So
I'm going to school at STEM night.
Oh, Jesus.
You going to school tonight?
It's a science math night at the girls' high school.
Oh,
so.
nice. Cool. Very cool. Well,
Yes.
you enjoy that, Dad. And we're going to check out. So I'm going to go home and have a taco night.
There you go.
Right?
That was last night.
It's taco night every night at my house.
I love
We
taco.
named our cat Taco for crying out loud.
Jesus.
They just love it so much. So, all right, cool. Your ego's not your amigo. Always do your best and let God do the rest. Remember to buy all your vehicles at Joey Accardi Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Right? And I mean that. Go see Dean. Tell him I sent you. He'll give you a great deal. All right? Always eat, drink, and be local. Do me a favor. Check out connectedbywater.com, our site here at the studio. We got a lot of cool apparel and a lot of things for you to buy. Please support your local artist. And no matter where we are, no matter what we're doing, we're always connected by water. Thank you, gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
My pleasure.